travelers to Midnight Atlas.
Welcome to another deep dive where we really try to get under the surface of some fascinating topics. Today we're heading into the pretty eerie Pine Barrens of South Jersey, home to one of America's oldest and maybe creepiest legends, the Jersey Devil.
Absolutely, it's a classic.
So our mission today basically is to unpack this thing. We want to look at all the layers, the origins going back centuries, those really intense sighting reports, and then how it still shows up in culture today.
Yeah.
And the sources we've got, they really offer some pretty fascinating angles on the myth, but also the actual history behind it all.
Exactly, and that's what's so interesting, isn't it? It's not just a monster story, it's folklore, it's history, it's even got bits of sociology wrapped up in it.
Right.
It's going to be quite a journey seeing how this legend got so, well, tangled up with the place itself.
Okay, so let's jump right in. The most famous origin story, the one everyone kind of knows, is the Mother Leeds story, right? And her 13th child.
That's the one. Usually dated around 1735, often set in Leeds Point, right there in the Pine Barrens.
And the story itself is just so dramatic. You've got Mother Leeds, she's already got 12 kids, finds out number 13 is on the way.
Yeah, and she's just, at her wit's end, overwhelmed, exhausted.
And supposedly she curses the unborn child, shouts out something like, "Let the child be the devil."
Exactly, and then boom, according to legend, the baby's born. Looks normal for a second, maybe. But then it just grotesquely transforms. Some stories say it sprouts wings, a tail, claws, and just flies off into the woods.
Wow.
Other versions are even more, vivid. Hooves, a goat's head, bat wings, forked tail.
Yeah.
Growling, screaming.
Okay, that's intense.
Yeah, and even beating everyone in the room with its tail before, apparently flying up the chimney.
Up the chimney, okay.
I mean, it really paints a picture of, ultimate despair turning into something monstrous.
Definitely. And you mentioned darker versions, too.
Yeah, some tales claim Mother Leeds was actually witch, and the father was, the devil himself.
Ah, okay. That ramps it up.
And those versions sometimes include stories of local clergymen trying, and failing obviously, to exorcise this creature from the Pine Barrens.
Right. And wasn't there another slightly different version later on? From Estiville?
Good point, yeah. Around 1855, a similar story pops up there. A Mrs. Leeds again. That name supposedly didn't want her baby, wished for a devil instead. A winged devil is born, flies out the window. But in this one, it apparently came back sometimes, and the mother would just shoo it away.
Huh. Almost. Slightly less terrifying. Still weird, though.
So very weird, yeah. It just shows how these folk tales can shift and change over time, maybe reflecting different local anxieties or something.
Okay, so that's the classic folk tale side. But you mentioned history earlier. What if the devil wasn't about a cursed baby, but maybe family politics?
Exactly. This is where it gets really interesting, historically speaking. Because before the early 1900s, people didn't usually call it the Jersey Devil.
Oh, what did they call
The
it?
Leeds Devil.
Leeds Devil. Okay, tying back to Mother Leeds' name, or?
Well, yes, but maybe not just Mother Leeds. Historian Brian Regal has this theory that it's less about one specific person and more about the entire Leeds family and their reputation back in colonial New Jersey.
Ah, okay.
Tell me more.
So you have this figure, Daniel Leeds, born 1651. He was a Quaker, but he published these almanacs in 1687 that had astrological symbols.
Okay. Problematic for Quakers back then.
Big time. They saw it as pagan. They basically ostracized him. But Daniel, he didn't back down. He kept publishing stuff that was pretty esoteric, kind of mystical Christian writings, and eventually converted to Anglicanism.
So he was kind of a controversial figure.
Definitely. And the Quakers hit back hard. In 1700, they published this tract called Satan's Harbinger Encountered, basically accusing Daniel Leeds point blank of working for the devil.
Wow, okay. So the devil connection to the Leeds name goes way back, way back. And get this, Daniel Leeds was also a royal surveyor, very pro-monarchy. The Quakers, mostly anti-monarchist. So there was political tension too. And his third wife had 9 children, a large family, maybe feeding into that Mother Leeds idea later on.
This is fascinating. And didn't Benjamin Franklin get involved somehow?
He did. Daniel's son, Titan Leeds, took over the almanac business. And Titan became Benjamin Franklin's big rival in the almanac world.
Right, Poor Richard's Almanac versus Leeds.
Exactly. So Franklin, being Franklin, starts messing with him. In his 1733 almanac, he satirically predicts Titan Leeds' death.
Oh, okay.
And even after Titan actually died in 1738, Franklin kept the joke going, saying Titan was still writing his almanacs as a ghost.
Oh, that's brilliant. And kind of mean.
Totally. But think about it. Daniel Leeds already had this reputation, blasphemous, maybe working with the devil, pro-royalty, which wasn't popular. Then his son is literally being portrayed as a ghost by the most famous printer in the colonies.
Okay, I see where this is going. It all starts to paint the Leeds family name in a pretty negative, even supernatural light.
Precisely. It could have easily fueled this local folk legend of a Leeds devil associated with the family haunting the area. It shows how easily history and gossip can, birth a monster.
And there's a visual element too, right? Something about a crest.
Yes. This is maybe the most direct link. Titan Leeds put the Leeds family crest on his almanacs.
And the crest was?
A wyvern. A dragon-like creature, bat wings, 2 legs, claws. Looks pretty monstrous.
Okay, that's interesting. So people are seeing this scary dragon symbol associated with the Leeds name, a family already linked to controversy and the devil.
Exactly. Especially as anti-royalist, anti-aristocrat feelings grew. That fearsome crest could easily have shaped how people imagine this Leeds devil and link the family itself to monsters.
So the Leeds devil was kind of kicking around as a local story for a long time.
Oh, yeah. By the late 1700s, early 1800s, it was a pretty well-known ghost story or monster tale in South Jersey. But the name Jersey Devil and that specific description we think of now, bat wings, horse head, claws, that really solidified much later.
When was that?
Mostly in the early 20th century, especially after that massive wave of sightings in 1909. Before that, you see mentions in print like the Devil of Leeds in 1859 and 1887. But 1909 seems to be the big turning point for the modern version.
Okay, let's talk sightings then, because some of these are just wild. Commodore Stephen Decatur, a war hero.
Yeah, supposedly saw something flying near a mill works, early 1800s, fired a cannonball at it.
A cannonball, seriously?
That's the story,
Yeah.
And apparently it just shrugged it off, no effect.
Wow, okay. And Napoleon's brother, Joseph Bonaparte.
Him too. Claimed he saw it while hunting on his estate near Bordentown around 1820.
So even the rich and famous were seeing this thing, or telling stories about it.
Seems like it. Then things flare up again, like in 1840, 1841, the devil gets blamed for killing livestock. People find strange tracks, hear weird screams.
It feels like it comes in waves, this legend.
It really does. Fast forward to the 20th century. 1925, a farmer shoots something stealing his chickens, takes a photo, says nobody could identify the body.
A photo, does it exist?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Probably lost to time, if it ever existed. Then you get reports like, in 1937, Pennsylvania, people see an animal with red eyes, reporter links it to the Jersey Devil. Kids see it in 51, someone claims to find a corpse in 57.
It just keeps popping up.
And then 1960, more tracks and noises near Mays Landing. And this is interesting. Camden merchants actually offered a $10,000 reward for its capture.
$10,000 in 1960 money. That's huge.
It is. They even talk about building a private zoo for it. Shows you how seriously or maybe how much publicity was attached to it by then.
But the big one, the one that really blew up, was 1909, right? That wave of sightings.
Oh, absolutely. January 1909. For about a week, January 16th to the 23rd, it was absolute chaos. Newspapers were flooded with hundreds of reports all over South Jersey, Philadelphia.
Hundreds in 1 week.
Hundreds. The entire Delaware Valley was gripped by it. Mass hysteria is probably the right term.
What kind of things were people reporting?
All sorts. It started with weird footprints in the snow, but quickly escalated. People claimed it attacked a trolley car in Haddon Heights, buzzed a social club in Camden.
Attacked a trolley, like physically.
That's what was reported, yeah. Police in Camden and Bristol, Pennsylvania apparently shot at it. Again, no effect.
This sounds like something out of a movie.
Totally. And the impact was real. Schools actually closed down. People were afraid to go to work. Vigilante groups formed, heading into the Pine Barrens armed, looking for the creature.
Wow. Just widespread panic.
Complete panic. And during that time, there was supposedly that $10,000 reward offer from the Philadelphia Zoo, which kind of ironically just encouraged more hoaxes, people trying to cash in.
Okay, so you have all this fear, all these sightings. People must have been desperate for explanations. What were the theories floating around?
Well, the skeptical view has always been there, that it's, a product of imagination. Early English settlers bringing over old bogeyman stories, maybe.
Or just people in the Pine Barrens making stuff up.
Could be. Boredom, maybe wanting to scare off outsiders. Or, going back to the historical angle, maybe it really was just lingering negativity towards the Leeds family getting turned into a monster story.
The Pine Barrens itself plays a role too, doesn't it? It had a certain reputation.
Oh, absolutely. It was seen as this forbidding, kind of dangerous place.
Yeah.
In a hospitable land, it was home to outlaws, like the pine robbers.
Right.
And the people who lived there, the Pineys, were often looked down on, seen as backward, isolated. Sometimes they might have even played up the scary stories to keep people away.
Yeah, I can see that. And didn't some studies kind of unfairly target them too?
Sadly, yes. Early 20th century eugenics studies that were incredibly biased, basically trying to paint the Pine Barrens residents as inherently degenerate, which just added to that otherness and maybe made it easier to associate the region with monsters.
And the devil isn't the only weird thing associated with the Pines, is it?
Not at all. It's a hotbed of folklore. You've got ghosts like Captain Kidd, spirits like the Black Doctor, the Black Dog, the Golden-Haired Girl, the White Stag, even mysterious places like the Blue Hole.
It's like the place itself generates legends.
It really feels that way sometimes.
Okay, what about more? Natural explanations for the devil itself. Misidentified animals.
That's a big one. Jeff Brunner from the Humane Society of New Jersey had an interesting idea. Sandhill cranes.
Cranes. Really?
Yeah, think about it. They're large birds, they have really loud, sort of rattling cry, and crucially, they're not native to South Jersey. So if one wandered into the area,
People wouldn't know what it was. And it looks big, sounds scary.
exactly, could easily be mistaken for something monstrous, especially at dusk or in bad light. And Brunner makes the key point. There's no physical evidence. No photographs, no bones, no hard evidence whatsoever.
That lack of evidence is pretty telling. I heard a story about an outdoorsman, Tom Brown Jr.
Oh yeah, that's a great anecdote. He wrote about times when he was out in the pines, covered himself head to toe in mud to keep mosquitoes off, and terrified hikers literally thought he was the Jersey Devil.
Huh. Okay, that shows how easily mistakes can happen out there.
Absolutely. Especially in a place that already has that spooky reputation.
And for that 1909 wave, you mentioned mass hysteria.
Yeah, that's a common explanation from sociologists. A kind of collective panic fueled by the existing legend, the newspaper reports fanning the flames.
Yeah.
It becomes a shared delusion almost.
Makes sense. But people are still looking for it, right? These devil hunters?
Oh yeah. There are definitely groups and individuals still actively searching, doing research, going out on night hunts in the pines, hoping to find actual proof.
So the belief is still alive for some.
For sure. And as Professor Angus Cress Gillespie at Rutgers points out, it's really gone beyond just being a local legend. It's part of popular culture now.
Right. Any other interesting theories, like comparing it to real animals?
There was that interesting piece by Dan Even comparing the descriptions to a specific African megabat, Hypsignathus monstrosus. It has this big, weird-looking head, probably not related, but it shows how people look for real-world anchors for myths.
But we also have to talk about straight-up hoaxes, don't we?
Definitely. That's always part of these stories, like those 1909 footprints. Some look like horse hoof prints. Turns out a guy later admitted he'd faked some of them with a mule's hoof.
Ah, okay.
And then there's the most famous hoax of all, Norman Jeffries and the Arch Street Museum in Philly.
What did he do? This was during the 1909 panic.
Right in the middle of it, he was a publicist, saw an opportunity. He bought a kangaroo.
A kangaroo?
Yep, bought a kangaroo, apparently glued some fake claws and bat wings onto it, maybe painted it green.
No.
Oh yeah, and put on display as the captured Jersey Devil. Planted fake news stories about it too, all to drum up museum attendance.
That is incredibly brazen. Did people buy it?
For a while, maybe. He confessed the whole thing about 20 years later.
Okay, so that explains the museum exhibit.
Yeah.
But
And this is important, most historians agree. Jeffrey's kangaroo stunt doesn't explain away all those other sightings reported all over the place during that same week. The timing doesn't quite line up for him to have started the whole panic.
so the hoax is part of the story, but not the whole story of 1909.
Exactly. It has another weird layer. But the sheer scale of the initial sightings remains puzzling. From curses to kangaroos, it's quite a ride.
So, after all this history, folklore, sightings, hoaxes, where does the Jersey Devil stand today? You said it's part of pop culture.
Massively so. Folklorist Richard Dorson had these 6 criteria for what makes an American comic legend, and the Jersey Devil ticks all the boxes. It started orally, people believed it, it got personalized, institutionalized.
But it has a comical side.
Yeah, despite the scary parts, there's a certain element of fondness almost.
Mm-hmm.
It's become this quirky regional icon.
You definitely see it in the media, TV shows investigating it, podcasts.
All the time. Shows like, In Search of Monsters, Monsters and Mysteries in America, podcasts like Lore. It's a staple of paranormal and folklore media.
And the hockey team is probably the biggest way most people know the name now.
For sure. The New Jersey Devils NHL team. They actually held a poll when the team moved to Jersey, and Devils won out. It's pretty amazing having a legendary monster as your state's hockey mascot.
It really is. And it pops up in toys, too. And theme park rides.
Yep, little vinyl figures like Kripkins, and Six Flags Great Adventure has the Jersey Devil coaster. I mean, riding a roller coaster named after a creature born from a curse, it's got a certain appeal, doesn't it?
It really does.
And then think about fiction. The X-Files had an episode, there was a video game literally called Jersey Devil. It's in The Wolf Among Us, TMNT, Johnny Quest, even comedies like What We Do in the Shadows, cartoons like Gravity Falls, games like Fallout 76.
Wow, it's everywhere.
It really is. And often it keeps both that scary monster aspect and a bit of that quirky comical side too. It's very adaptable.
And didn't it get some kind of official state designation?
Bizarrely, yes. Back in 1938, it was named the country's only official state demon.
State demon. Okay, that's commitment.
You really can't get much more embedded in a place's identity than that.
So our journey took us from Mother Leeds' despair to the Leeds family's political drama, through that wild week in 1909 and all the attempts to explain it, cranes, mud-covered hikers, kangaroos. And somehow through all that, the Jersey Devil is still here, still part of the landscape, still capturing our imagination, that shadow over the Pine Barrens.
It really is. And maybe that's the final thought to leave you with. What is it about a legend like this that gives it such staying power?
Yeah.
Is it about our need to explain things we don't understand? Or maybe personify our fears about wild places? Or even about family history? Or is it just, that we love a good, creepy story that connects us to a place?
Right.
These tales change over time, they adapt to new media, new anxieties, but that core mystery, it stays. It kind of invites you to keep looking over your shoulder, especially if you're ever driving through the Pine Barrens at night.
Definitely gives you something to think about.
You have been listening to Midnight Atlas. For more journeys into the unknown, be sure to follow or subscribe on Spotify, YouTube, and wherever you get your podcasts. Until our next journey, stay curious.